This is Jason Verney's podcast. I am Jason Verney. I'm recording this just in an area not far from where I live. In fact, I'm these sort of northwest London back streets, which is between Kilburn and Queen's Park. It's obviously between elsewhere as well, depending which direction. But that's kind of the way I'm walking. And it's very different from where I was, you could say 3 days ago, or at least 3 or 4 days ago. On Monday, the 3rd of July, I was on a flight from Seoul back to London. And so much has kind of feels like it's happened in those 3 complete days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that, I felt like I wanted to just do a short podcast regarding that. And it's kind of connected, that same feeling is kind of connected to how much I also did whilst in Korea and how many things I was finishing off, and also maybe there's a connection between 3 days and 3 video works that I had to also get done especially while I was on Jeju Island, which was essentially the first week or so while I was in Korea of the 2 weeks or so that I was there. So since I've been back, I was putting finishing touches or improving on an already submitted version of a video artwork, which is now standing in the Kingston Museum in Kingston, obviously. And the exhibition is it looks amazing, and of course I'm not talking about mine. I'm talking about the other parts of the exhibition itself, and I'll elaborate on that in another podcast. The exhibition runs until the 30th of September, so there's plenty of time. Actually last night, Thursday, there was a private view, so I rushed down there to replace my film with a slightly corrected or improved version. Thing is, with editing, you can always improve, or you can always change things, and when you see it on a different screen, there's a bit of wind. I don't know if you can hear a bit of wind, but there's definitely some here. It's so hot today. I've come back to such hot weather in the UK, extremely hot. And leaving Seoul was hot. That was hot there, although there was a bit of rain, quite heavy rain on my last day. Excuse me if I sound like a bit of a cold. I probably have. So yes. So I was comparing. So yes, I've been back 3 days. Probably almost 4 days now, and there's been so much happening. I've been fretting about getting this video right, making sure it plays, making sure it's ready for the exhibition. Not to mention, I'm sure the curator fretting and worrying a bit as well. There was complications with a DVD that was sent even when I was in Korea, from Korea, with somebody. It was actually sent to London or Kingston. Complications with that, but the main thing was there was also a version, or some like you could say penultimate cut version online, which the curator could actually see to see how the finished product was going to look, or going to almost look. So that's all done now. It's in place. The exhibition is fantastic, even if I do say so myself. But yeah, just as I mentioned, I'm kind of connecting this to also many things I had to do when I was in Korea relating to video. One of them was this same video for this artwork in Kingston, and another one was a video, sort of a half an hour video, to go with the talk I was doing regarding Jeju. And so I did that in my first week, which was when I was on Jeju, in Halla Library. library. And also the other thing was NBC asked if they could have a trailer for that. So I did a 20-second trailer for my talk. So it was all this happening. I didn't really have a great deal of free time, or at least I felt, even when I did have free time, I thought I must get on with this, I must crack on with that. And there's deadlines for all these three things. And even when I was out in Jeju 4, which I've briefly mentioned in another podcast, even that I'm going to have to be involved with the editing process, it seems. So yes, it's a lot's been happening in my life, in my film life, my editing life, my work life, and Korean life, if you want to say that. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'll end this little podcast hoping that it doesn't not record. I mean, so most of the time I record podcasts in my recording room, but I like to feel and hear the natural world, even if it's not that natural. There's a car engine there, but I mean the real world as opposed to a room, and it makes me sort of, it puts things into perspective, or it makes me think about, makes me feel free when I'm talking, even if there's a structure to it. Sorry, I was just going to say the private view went very well. The mayor, Kingston mayor, was there. She did a little talk. The Korean ambassador was there, as were other artists that I knew, many people I didn't know, many people I spoke to, but it was very good, and hopefully I'm going to get good feedback on the video art. So yes, I'll leave the podcast at that, and just to say goodbye, and there'll be more in a very upcoming podcast. Okay, adios.